Here, Sifu Lam is performing Shaolin number 6 at normal speed. This form is broken down into 10 lessons. Since the direction of the attack changes several times, the angle of the lessons is changed to give the clearest view of the techniques. In this complete form, the directions of attack are demonstrated from the beginning to the end. Use this demonstration to make sure that you don't get turned around during the transitions from lesson to lesson. Remember, when you practice this form, as with most all Chinese martial forms, you begin and end upon the same place on the floor, facing the same direction. Each lesson will begin with stances, then proceed to hand movements, and finish with applications. Start at attention. Stomp your right heel into a left cat stance, step diagonally, left bow, then right, then stand up straight. Pause and step left into a horse stance. Circle both arms out so they arrive below your waist with your palms parallel to the floor. Jab to the throat, then double hook block. Double block your flanks, then double strike to the armpits. Block with your right back fist, then your left palm, then right punch. Block with your left elbow, then left punch. Note how techniques practiced with two hands are often applied with one hand. The opponent blocks the jab, kicks and punches. The attacks are blocked and a double punch is returned. The opponent blocks a back fist. The block is smothered and the punch follows. The opponent kicks to the flank. The kick is blocked with the elbow and the punch follows. Pick your right leg up into a crane stance. Step forward and pivot into a horse stance. Pick your left leg up into a crane stance, then step forward and pivot into a left bow and arrow stance. Grab with your left hand and block with your right fist. Block your flank with your right fist, circle block with your right, then your left fists, then block up with your left fist and punch with your right. The opponent's sweep is evaded. The following punch is grabbed and the elbow is struck with the forearm. The opponent's kick is evaded. The following punch is blocked, smothered, and returned. Shift to a reverse bow and arrow stance, sink to a left low bow leaning back, step forward and double kick, land in a right bow, bring your feet together, stomping with your right. Slap your right forearm and spread your arms into a right willow palm and a left crane hook. Block with both arms, then kick. Block with your left and punch with your right, grabbing your right fist. The opponent grabs a punch. The grip is broken and the opponent follows with a kick, which is evaded. The opponent's kick is evaded. The following punches are blocked and a flying kick is returned. The opponent's punch is grabbed and twisted. Strikes are returned to the shoulder and the foot. Kick with your left heel, shuffle step, then kick with your right toe. Land in a right bow. Shift to a left bow, then back to a right, then to a horse. Keep your left hand clenching your right fist. Block with your left, then right, then left, and punch. The opponent blocks 2 kicks and punches high then low. The punches are blocked with the same arm and a punch to the temple is returned. Step back through a right twist stance into a left cat stance. Step forward and sweep with your right, then your left leg, and spring up into a horse stance. Circle block your head with your right palm and your torso with your left palm. Spread your arms into a left hook and a right willow palm. Block up with your left and punch with your right. Use your arms to assist you in the second sweep. Keep your legs locked and your body weight over your bent leg. The opponent kicks and follows with a 2-punch. These attacks are blocked and the sweeps are returned. Stand up, kick with your left heel and land in a left bow and arrow stance. Kick with your right toe, land in a right bow, then drop into a right low bow. Block down with your left and punch with your right. Grab, twist up and strike, then block and punch. Punch, retract your fist, then punch again, grab and pull down. The opponent's punch is blocked and returned. The opponent's high block is grabbed and a chop and a kick are delivered. The opponent kicks, blocks a punch, kicks again, blocks a kick, then punches. The last punch is pulled down. Stand up facing the reverse direction. Step through a right twist stance into a left bow and arrow stance. Kick with your right toe, land in a right bow, then pivot into a left cat stance. Block your head, then your torso, then strike to the face and torso. Right circle block, left grab and right punch. Block, retract and punch, right grab and twist up, and jab to the armpit. The opponent's 2 punches are blocked and a double palm strike is returned. The opponent's 2 punches are countered by punch, kick, punch, grab, and jab attack. Step forward and kick with a flying inside crescent kick. Land in a horse stance. Swing your arms down to block and punch. Slap your right foot with your left hand, block high, and punch with your right. Block with your left, punch with your right, lift your left knee, and kick with your right. Swing both arms in a circle so that their momentum helps you kick. The eyes lead the kick. Notice that the left foot lands where the right foot takes off, and that the horse stance is set before striking. The opponent's punch is blocked and the return punch is evaded. The kick follows through. Shift your right foot into a left twist, then pivot to standing. Step left into a left bow and arrow stance and kick with your right toe to land in a right bow. Right back fist, then hammer strike. Clear your right arm, then punch. Grab and right punch, left punch, then right punch. The opponent evades a back fist and punches, then blocks a punch and punches again. This is blocked and a punch is returned. Pivot to a left bow and arrow stance. Pivot to a right bow, then to a horse stance. Step back into a right bow, then bring your feet together and stand straight. Punch left, right, left, right. Break with your left and block left, then right, right then left and punch. Extend your right, then left, palm up, circle both arms out so they arrive below your waist with your palms parallel to the floor. The opponent grabs the opening punch. The hold is broken and the returning punch is blocked. Again, Sifu Lam performs the entire set. When a form is practiced, different techniques have different timing. In the lessons, this overall timing is difficult to see. However, in a complete form, they become more evident. A form is not played to the clock tick of a metronome. Rather, the timing must vary between fast and slow movements to show contrast and be more lively. Combat time is far from even and regulated. It is explosive and unpredictable. In order to explode, that explosion must come from stillness, or else it becomes muddled in noise. Attack ferociously and retreat grudgingly.
In this slow motion sequence, the Chinese names of the movements are given. Fast as an arrow, steal the heart. Light steps like the wind through the willow, facing fists. Flower hand, strike to the right. Horse stance, horizontal punch. Golden rooster stands on one leg. Grab the rice, horse stance, hanging elbow technique. Block down and up, striking technique. Leaning the body, waiting for the tiger. Monkey climbs up the tree, double toe kick. Planting technique. Left heel kick, shuffle, right toe kick. Horse stance, striking the tiger technique. Flower hand, back step. Front and back sweep, striking technique. Wild tiger comes out of the cave. Shooting palm, heel kick. Front and back strike. Flat pole technique. Turn around, stand on the earth, holding the sky technique. Tiger comes out of the mountain to grab the sheep. Right crossed character kick. Right lean out punch. Front step, yin striking palm. Break the earth, planting technique. Tornado kick. Land and horse stance, striking technique. Hanging punch to the back. Sleeve wiping palm. Grab the hand, horizontal punch. Right crossed character kick. Turn around, chain punches. Left diagonal punch. Horse stance, striking the tiger technique. Back step. Penetrating palm. Finish the form. Here, Tun Da will be shown in slow motion. Extend fully in both the throat jab and crane hook blocks. This motion is smooth and graceful with long, even steps in time with your blocks. Lean forward with these punches, forming a circle with your arms. Lean right and bring your left shoulder forward with this right punch. Lean slightly to the left with this left punch. Here, only your stance changes. Your upper torso remains stationary. Step down, then grab, then pivot, pull, and strike. Each of these blocks cover your entire head and torso. In this leaning evasion, the torso and front leg form a straight line. Block with your step. Keep your left hand up during the kicks. Now your gaze changes direction from the end of lesson 1. Your hands change sides before the toe kick to position your hips. Turn all the way to your left, then right, then left again. Bring your right shoulder forward for the punch. Focus on your right hand and the circle blocks, then your left for the hook. Your legs remain locked in a low bow and arrow stance during the sweep. Squeeze your legs together to stand instead of hopping. Your leg and both arms move together simultaneously to pull, strike, and kick. In this pose, your right fingertips point at your right foot. Extend both arms fully in this strike. Lean forward. Block smoothly and grab quickly. Turn the left toe out before kicking. Reach out in this punch. All fingertips point forward and the arms form an even crescent. Swing your arms down so they circle back up for the kick. Slap your foot with a sharp resounding crack. Land on balance in a solid horse stance. The back fist travels in an arc from your left hip, across the face to behind your right hip. Use a willow palm to break a grab. Bring your left fist to your left flank. This is a repetition of an earlier sequence. All punches are aimed directly to center line. Hit your right fist with enough velocity to smash a grab. This is another repetition. Both hands come back to the waist before extending the palm. Finish balanced.
Hi everyone, this is George Chung. Welcome to Kick Magazine, along with my lovely co-host Cindy Rothrock, who will be joining me later with a self-defense lesson. We'd like to welcome you to the only martial art television show seen here in San Jose. It's a show that's seen every Tuesday night at 8:30 and Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Channel 2B, your public access channel. And it's very rare that we have here on Kick Magazine bona fide masters and experts in the art of Kung Fu, and the traditional aspect of Kung Fu. And tonight we have such a man who's been teaching here in San Jose for nearly a decade, Sifu, or instructor in Chinese, Wing Lam. Sifu Lam, welcome to Kick Magazine.
Thank you.
Compared to many martial artists that have studied here in America at commercial schools or throughout the United States, your training started actually overseas in Hong Kong. Can you tell me a little bit about your first training?
Okay, our training in Hong Kong is a little different. Okay, the school, they open every day. Okay, and also the Sifu live in the studio, so you can go there any times you want. Okay, also they don't have a class schedule. Okay, you can go to the field school.
Kind of a drop-in schedule.
That's it,
go
right.
As you learn.
Okay, right. Okay. Also, you go there every day, you practice. You don't get the lesson every time.
Oh.
Okay, so the Sifu, watch you, correct your mistake. When you feel ready to go on, then they teach you.
Is there an advantage or disadvantage toward that type of training?
Well, I think that this way, I think it's better, it's more traditional this way, okay, because you need to spend more time to work with it before you get your lesson.
In your own training that you had in Hong Kong, now in the training that you teach here in the United States, do you have any differences in your teaching when you teach here in America?
Depend on the students, okay? Some people here, they just want to come in for the lessons. I teach them every time when it comes in. But some people, they want to learn real good, touch their own way. Okay.
Is your school open like you do in Hong Kong? Do you
not exactly. We have schedules,
right.
Okay? Yeah, so for people, comes in, certain times, we don't overcrowd the class.
Right, kind of molding to the American standards.
Yes,
right?
have to.
When you started training in Hong Kong, I'm sure the martial arts are much more popular overseas than they are here in the United States. There's so many schools in Hong Kong to choose from, I would imagine, especially in martial arts. The system that you teach, can you tell me a little bit about it?
Okay, the system of teaching is the one is called Northern style. They're pretty famous in China. Okay, I would say 90% of the martial art are Northern style.
Now, what does Northern style have that maybe Southern style or the Eastern or Western style doesn't have?
Okay, we only have two styles, say Northern and Southern, but not known Eastern style.
Right.
Okay, and the Northern style, they normally the people in North part of China, they're bigger. Okay, so they concentrate more on kicking. Okay, a lot of jumping. Okay, and South part of China is a smaller people, so they have concentrate more on the certain technique. Okay, not to overhaul the whole body.
So your Northern style, longer stance, kicking.
Yes.
Southern style, shorter body,
right.
Shorter techniques. Does that also carry through if a person is practicing, we'll say, to give you an example, if a tall person comes to you and says, I'd like to learn Southern style, does that present a problem?
No, it's no problem at all, okay? Yeah, because we do have some big people in some part of China, okay? But the system has been developed that way.
And it adapts to the person and their own personal needs. The style that you teach here now, you teach both Northern and Southern style. Is it difficult for a person to learn both styles at once, or do you teach each style separately?
We do teach different styles separately because the basic is different. Okay, stance are different. The way to stretch is different too.
If I came to you, we'll say I came to you as a beginning student, and I said, Sifu Lam, I'd like to learn Kung Fu. Would you then recommend me a style to teach or to take, or would you just watch the way I move and then eventually lead me to a better style?
Okay, so we have helped our our students are beginners. Okay, so actually they have no background.
Right.
Okay, so I like to ask them, what style do they take? Do they familiar with the style or not? Okay, then I explain the difference between two styles. Okay, then ask what they like.
In the system that you teach, does it also employ a lot of weapons?
Yes.
Traditionally, the Kung Fu styles have always been famous for the weapons, and the traditional weapons of the sword and the spear. Once again, does your school specialize in a certain weapon the students like to use the most?
We do teach all kinds of weapons.
So you overall very general.
Yes.
As far as the growth of Kung Fu here in the United States has been growing by leaps and bounds. A very fascinating gentleman by the name of Bruce Lee made a big splash here in the United States in the early 70s when his movies made a great claim to fame as Kung Fu being a very popular art throughout the world. And of course, when that happened, many people started using the name Kung Fu as a sort of means of developing their martial art as a more of a media type advertisement rather than teaching the authentic art. Using the name Kung Fu, of course, would draw a lot of interest, but not all the people conformed to the traditional trainings of Kung Fu. When that happened, when the Bruce Lee era came about and everybody started using the word Kung Fu, did that affect your school at all?
No. When people come in, they say they will find out the difference.
Right.
Okay.
Is there a big difference between movie Kung Fu and Kung Fu that you teach?
It does, okay. It really makes a lot of difference, okay. In movie Kung Fu, okay, they have some movement it's unable to do. Unless you have a springboard, things like that.
Right. So a lot of trick with the camera and, of course, trick with trampolines. When a student comes to you and they train, we'll say you put them on a training schedule of 3 or 4 times a week. When they take that training schedule, is it difficult for a lot of the students? I know in the Kung Fu system it's very elaborate. Do all the students pick up at a pretty even pace, or are some students slower than others when they're learning your style?
Yeah, some students are slower, okay. So
how do you adapt to a student like that?
You just have to spend more time to it, that's all.
One of the instructors on the show, Cynthia Rothrock, who specializes in the Eagle Claw Ying Jiao Pai system, will be giving us a self-defense lesson in a few moments. But right now it's time for our first story, which is Ed Fong in the instructor segment for this week. And Ed Fong will be continuing with his lesson from San Jose. And right now, a demonstration in the beautiful system of Kung Fu from the students of the Wing Lam Kung Fu School, in Sunnyvale, California. Gentlemen can take the floor and see, well, what are they going to be doing first?
Okay, okay, Tom's go to northern side first, okay? Number 6? Yeah. 7? Yeah, number 7 form is still on the side.
And the word Sulam is the actual word for Shaolin or
Sulam is a Cantonese, Shaolin is a Mandarin. Okay.
Now, unlike the movements of the karate system, where many of the movements are self-explanatory, a lot of the movements that you have here have different meanings in the strikes and in the patterns. When a student does this, do they actually apply the movements later on in drills?
Yes, after you notice that well, then we try to figure it out.
So he will learn to apply all the techniques that they learned before. Now, at what level would a student learn the form that he has just performed?
Okay, this student style is second form, number 7. Okay?
That's your second form?
Second form, okay, besides the basic form. Okay?
Right.
So I say you learn this set in about first year.
Well, within the first year, that elaborate of a set.
Yeah.
What are we going to be seeing next?
Okay, the next one will be the little more advanced set, the student number 1, okay?
Now, once again, just by what you've told me in our conversation, more kicking techniques, I would imagine this would be a northern style set.
Yes, it is.
The acrobatic movements that we're seeing, the jumping kicks and the splits, are they traditional in the Kung Fu training?
Yes, for the northern style.
Many times, often in martial arts, we don't see such elaborate or acrobatic techniques that are used, and once again, that are applied within a self-defense system. Very beautiful, the northern style of Kung Fu. Before we get into the next form, the use of animals in Kung Fu system, your tiger, your crane, your snake, are they employed in the system that you teach? 5 animals?
The southern styles only.
Okay. And what are we going to be seeing right now? Southern style form?
Yeah, southern style form, that's the animal we're talking about. It's called 10 animal form. Okay.
Now, within the form, he demonstrates the basic animal techniques?
Yes, the first form is the dragon form, supposed, from the sound. Okay.
This is the dragon form?
Yes,
Now, will he be demonstrating different animals throughout the form?
Yeah, the whole form, it covers the 5 different animals
5
and 5 elements.
would the dragon be synonymous with tension or?
Yes, tension and sound is supposed for internal breathing.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are the sound representations that he's making? Is that the sound of a dragon? Or?
Yes, that's why it's dragon form. And also the sounds try to build up different part the internal system.
Mm-hmm. To bring out the best or the power within the man.
Yes.
Now, once again, would this be a form that a beginner would learn, or would this be one of the more advanced?
That's the most advanced in the Sun style.
Mm-hmm. What length of time would a person take before he would learn a set like this?
About 4 to 5 years.
In that complex of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's going into another set of hand movements. Is this once again the dragon, or is he going into another animal?
Still in the part of the dragon form.
The many different hand postures that they have, does that represent different self-defense movements that he has? Or in the internal systems, is the hand postures used only to develop and gain power from the body?
Okay, the hand movements, some part is for like stretching, okay, build the muscles. Some is for like blockings and striking. It's both combined together.
Now, what is this? More of a faster version of techniques? Is he still within the same animal, or is he going
This
to...
is a snake form, you can see it, okay? It's more faster.
So more of the snake. And what does the snake have that the other styles don't? Is there a difference in the hand movements?
It's supposed to move faster, you know, and have more step.
And don't tell me, this must be the tiger form.
Yes, that's the tiger form on second part.
Of course, synonymous with the claws of the tiger. And again, the sound that he makes, this would be that the sound the tiger would make.
Right, yes.
Consistent. So far we've covered the snake, the tiger, and the dragon.
That will be the panther form.
The panther?
Yes.
Some schools that they have in the martial arts with the hand movement that have a technique that they call the leopard. Is this similar to the
It's similar to Stephen Turner, that's all. That's going to be the crane.
And of course, from last week's segment with Cindy Rothrock utilizing the crane technique, a different variation of the crane using the crane form. I'm curious to know, how long would it take one to learn a form like this?
Normally it takes about 6 months.
6 months to learn the entire
to complete the form.
When some people go through your school and do a workout, after seeing a form like that, they don't need a workout. That form is a workout, isn't it?
Yes.
A long form with such different animals entailed in it seems like this would give you a very overall knowledge of martial arts just within that one form.
Right, so that's why back in the occasional way, the practice, mostly people concentrate in a couple of forms, that's all.
And those two or couple of forms could encompass an entire system.
Yes.
Right now, next with our instructor segment, we're going to see Cynthia Rothrock. In a few minutes, we'll be seeing another demonstration of wing lam. This week, Cindy will be taking us through some basic self-defense techniques that you can learn in the process. Sifu, can you tell us the name of the students that we had on the show tonight?
Okay, this is Bob. Okay, he was doing number 1 and same style, and my number 2 cannon form same style, and Tom Inger doing number 7 in same style.
And gentlemen, thank you for being with us here on Kick Magazine. Sifu Lam, before we leave tonight, some questions that I have about the particular style of Kung Fu, and that's in the style of karate that I'm very familiar with are the hard styles of martial arts. They have belt ranking that they give. A person achieves at a level a black belt. Does the Kung Fu system have the same thing, belts?
No.
Or the system that you teach?
Okay, actually, Two Dangerous Kung Fu style never have belt system. But we do use belt to hold the hands. Okay, that's not the purpose, weight, how high is it.
So a person basically justifies how good he is by knowing how good he is.
How good, that's it, yeah.
In the own style that you teach, do you see the Kung Fu growing more here in the United States? Or where do you see the future of Kung Fu here?
It does grow a lot, okay? Because let's see, first when we started, we had about 5 Kung Fu school in San Francisco. So right now, Kung Fu is here all over.
How can we get more information about your school? Where are you located first?
Okay, we are located 1164 Willow, Sunnyvale. Okay.
1164 Willow Road in Sunnyvale,
yes.
California. And a telephone number?
244-2831.
Once again, 244-2831. Tonight we had with us the master instruction of Sifu Wing Lam, who teaches the exciting art of Kung Fu. Sifu Lam, thank you for being with us here on Kick Magazine. This is George Chung, along with my co-host Cindy Rothrock. We hope you join us again. Thank you, and good night, everyone.
and doing them.